and welcome to episode 91 of the Nerds at Large Gaming Podcast. I'm one of your hosts, Darby Hallman.
I'm Jeff Mayo.
And I'm special guest Jacob Hamill.
Special guest Jacob Hamill back from the dead.
Yes.
Yep.
It was nice.
Yeah,
nice trip.
We were really sad when you died, but thankfully Jeff is a necromage. So
yeah.
No, thankfully I've been imbued with the power of resurrection.
The power of Twitch Prime.
I was gonna tie that into Sekiro, which we're gonna talk about.
Okay.
I hit R1 and I resurrected, so
Yes.
I have one more chance.
Changing the game. The game doesn't change. Well, maybe you'll hear a little bit more about Sekiro in a little bit. But before we get into it, I'll probably say this at the top of this episode and next week's episode. We are doing a Game of Thrones Spoilercast. I announced this last week that Chad and Holden from Respawn Aim Fire is going to be joining us. You can get those episodes over at Nerds at Large Spoilercast on any podcast feed or our YouTube channel. Super, super excited about that. They're going to join us for every episode. I think there's 6, right? 6 episodes this season? Yep.
6 movies.
6 movies. They're going to be like basically movie-length episodes at this point. So super stoked about that. And additionally, not this week, but next week, me and Jeff are gonna be guesting on Respawn Aim Fire, which is a lot of fun.
Mm-hmm.
We have to get ready. They have a lot of shenanigans, Jeff. So
Shenanigans?
They have this video game Would You Rather thing they do at the end of the podcast, and things get weird. So get ready.
I like weird.
Huh?
I do like weird.
Yeah. It'll be a lot of fun. So look for us on that. It'll probably be around the time that our podcast posts next week. So yeah, look for that. Yeah, that's about it.
Yeah.
So,
well, we might have a Shazam Spoilercast soon.
When is that? Is that this week?
This week.
This week. Yeah. Maybe we'll have that next weekend. I don't know. Or
Impressions
maybe
/ reviews are positive.
Yeah. I mean, it looks like it knows what it is. It looks like it's a jolly, funny movie, and that's what I just hope that
DC needs to win because apparently Ezra Miller rumor is that he's not going to be Flash anymore.
So it's literally just Aquaman and Wonder Woman, the only ones left, right? Or Cyborg, I guess.
Just get rid of Cyborg.
Yeah. I haven't even seen him act because I didn't see Justice League. I haven't seen Ezra Miller either, so I don't know. Well, let's waste no more time because Jacob, there is new software from Software.
Yes, there is. Indeed, yeah.
And,
get out of here.
That's a tongue twister.
Sorry.
Say that 5 times fast.
That has to be one of the reasons they named their company From Software, is just so they can do that. Yeah. But Jacob, this game has gotten very interesting response. Everyone across the board seems to say like it is a very good video game, but in the same breath, a lot of people are like, but I'm exhausted. But I don't know if I could do this. Yeah,
I'm excited to talk about the game itself, Sekiro, and then the opinions, the reaction around it, because it is interesting. I think it's more pronounced than when Dark Souls 3 came out. Maybe a little more pronounced than when Bloodborne came out.
Yeah, it seems controversial, but not in a quality sense, but just in a it's different.
Yeah,
it's just like. From what everyone said, you kind of have to unlearn some of what the previous Souls and Bloodborne games have taught you to do combat-wise.
Yeah, and people are really divided on it. If you want to see 2 good but differing opinions on it, Patrick Klepek with Waypoint, he wrote an article about his experiences playing Sekiro, and he really loves it. And then Jim Sterling actually put out a video. He also really likes Dark Souls and Bloodborne, and he's not feeling Sekiro, but he admits that it is a really good game. It's just not for him, and that's okay.
Yeah. So what specifically about Sekiro? What makes it so different?
Yeah. So
I mean, I know that's a loaded question.
Right. Yeah. So I think, I mean, in my opinion, it's kind of a disservice necessarily to think of Sekiro as a Souls game. I think it's its own action. It's definitely an action game. It's not an RPG like Dark Souls and Bloodborne. And the similarities I think are kind of like the general world similarities. So punishing death. You rest it. These are called idols, and sculptures, idols, and Sekiro, where they'd be bonfires in Dark Souls.
Right.
That's where checkpoint system. And then the general, I would say, structure of the combat, not necessarily the combat itself, But there are a lot of differences. I think the biggest one is that there are no stats. There's no leveling system. You're not acquiring different weapons. You have the same sword throughout the entire game, and you're acquiring different what they're called shinobi prosthetics, your prosthetic tools, and those are not necessarily like you don't make a build around like certain prosthetic tools. Instead, those are different means to deal with different enemies. In the same way that like in a character action game, like different weapons might be better for different types of enemies. And I think the biggest issue I think that a lot of people have with Sekiro who are either experienced with Dark Souls or not is that there is very little ways to cheese through enemies if you're having trouble.
Right, because in the previous Souls games like that, you could theoretically just go grind for 20 hours and then you're OP, right?
Or not even for 20 hours, really. Like, being like 5 levels over like the recommended level for a boss would make a big difference. You can also upgrade your weapons, which also increases like your damage significantly. And ultimately in Dark Souls or Bloodborne, if you're having a big problem with a boss, if you're just hitting a wall, you can summon another player, and that for the most part trivializes.
So is that
most
completely
bosses.
gone in this game?
Yeah, there's no summoning. There's no leveling. The only way that you get more health and the only way you increase your attack power is by beating bosses.
Right. So it takes it a lot more like. It's a lot more about your skill and mechanics because you can't really be under leveled either, right? You're pretty much walking into every boss fight with the like baseline. You're even with this boss. You're where you're supposed to be for this boss.
Yeah, and they've tuned all those bosses to for the level that they expect you to be at.
Yeah. Do you like this overall, or is it just kind of conflicting?
Okay, so when we spoke last week, I was only like a few hours in, and I wasn't really sure. The thing and this was the same with Bloodborne too, and I love that game, is that there's going to be a rough first few hours where you're learning the game, you're kind of understanding the mechanics, you're getting into the game's mindset, and then around hour 7, I want to say, it clicked for me, and I had a great time, and I'm enjoying it. And it's still really hard, really punishing. It's probably, I think, in my opinion, the hardest of these, Souls-like games that From Software has put out. But I really enjoy it. It's a different speed. It's a different demon. If you like the slower pace of Dark Souls, or you like the stats and acquiring different weapons and Bloodborne and Dark Souls, this probably won't be for you.
Right.
But if you want like a really punishing, fast-paced action game, it's really great. And likewise, like if you didn't really like kind of like the slowness of Dark Souls, like the passivity of it, or some parts of the same mechanics with Bloodborne, you might like this better.
Okay.
If you like really hard like action games, you probably enjoy this over challenging an RPG.
Yeah.
Challenging RPGs.
And it's a lot more about like I hear the parry system is just super important when this, whereas like Bloodborne, it was almost like. It was not even worth it because of the punishment you could get from it.
Right. Well, in Dark Souls, parrying was I felt a little awkward, if that makes any sense. I felt like the timing was stricter in Dark Souls. And honestly, like it was a lot safer to either block or dodge to the side. In Bloodborne, parrying was also difficult, but you could use a gun to parry. So you could parry at a distance and then rush in and then do the riposte and get the damage.
Yeah, which is a lot safer when you're able to just shoot someone from far away and they can't reach you.
Yeah, the parrying in Sekiro is a lot more forgiving. The window is a lot larger, but it is more important. It's the central core of the mechanic of the game's mechanics. It's called posture. So it's kind of a weird mindset, but really when you're fighting a boss or an enemy, health is not important. It's not the primary concern for the most part. What you're concerned about is posture. And so when an enemy is attacking you, if you are deflecting their attacks, which is parrying, so blocking at the right moment, or if you're hitting them, or if you're countering them in some way, you're building up their posture. Now that posture will go down if you back off and you let them, kind of regain that posture. So you're encouraged to, be aggressive, to be in their face. And that usually is being in front of them and deflecting their attacks. A lot of the enemies in Sekiro, their tracking on their attacks is a lot stronger than it was in Dark Souls or Bloodborne. Typically, if an enemy was lunging at you, you could dodge to the side and then you would hit them as they whiff their attack. Here, if you dodge, they will spin around and hit you, or they have like samurai swords. They have sweeping attacks that will hit you even if you dodge. So the best part, well, that's the whole point. There are weapons that you do want to dodge to, like spears and thrust attacks. But, for an enemy with a sword, which are your primary opponents, you want to be in their face and, clanging swords with them. And it's really awesome. It's really awesome when you're doing that, when you're getting those parries, and then you break their posture, and that opens them up to a one-hit kill called a death blow. Right. Which is awesome because you just it zooms really close in, and then you take your sword and you if you manage to fill it up off of a deflect, their sword gets popped in the air, and then you go in for a kill and you kind of stab them through their armpit, and it's really gory and violent, but it's incredible. It's exhilarating.
Yeah. So when I think obviously my version of action games is Devil May Cry, Bayonetta. The more baby versions. But when I think of a pure action game, which it sounds like this is kind of more leaning towards, I think of combos and stuff I can do to string this into that into this. Is that a type of thing? Are you doing this attack to set up this next attack to swoop around and do this other attack, or is it in
a way, yeah. So instead of souls or blood echoes like in Bloodborne, you get experience when you kill an enemy. And that experience is used to purchase skills from a skill tree, and those increase your moveset. It's not stat increases. It's more tools to deal with certain types of enemies. Right. So for one move that you can get pretty early on is called Mikiri counter, and that's to counter spears. And so what you do is that when a spear enemy does what is called a perilous attack, which when they attack, those are pretty much unblockable hits. So you either have to deflect them or counter them in a specific way. So if a spear guy does one of those thrusting attacks that is called a perilous attack, and there's a red warning sign that comes up, you hit circle, and your character will step on the blade part of the spear.
That's cool.
And then sometimes they'll do a lot of posture damage, and sometimes they'll fall over, and you can go into an instant death blow. Okay. So in some moves, there's a really great move that I like to use, which is you use the shuriken prosthetic, and then you can go immediately into a running slash. So there are kind of combos and different moves that you can use. It's not like Devil May Cry or Bayonetta where you're stringing several hits in a row. Right. But it's you can tie moves together.
Okay. Yeah, that's interesting.
You can also hold down the attack button to do a thrusting attack yourself, and that can also open up enemies to different moves, to different hits.
Okay. What do you think about? I mean, because part of I think what you and so many other people love about Bloodborne and Dark Souls is the world and the kind of very subtle storytelling and the somewhat exploration, even though it's not overt.
Right.
How is that in this?
I like it a lot. So the first part of the game, you kind of have two areas you can explore, but it's pretty clear what the story path is, and then you get to the main part that you're trying to reach, and that kind of opens up the central, I guess, part of a bicycle wheel, and there's all these paths that are branching off that you can go down. Okay. So yeah, it's pretty linear early on, and then it opens up tremendously about at the halfway point.
So it becomes you can choose what to do when.
Yeah.
You'll do something in a different order than other people.
I mean, you have the ability to explore areas if you want. I kind of completed what I need to do in that central area, and now it's pointing me. Okay, it's okay, go down, go here, go there. But you can go there before doing that. And the levels themselves, because you have all this maneuverability, you have a grappling hook, you have a jump, you can do a wall jump. A lot of the levels have a lot of verticality to them, and you're running across rooftops.
I see
and
people
grappling.
do the grapple thing onto a rooftop. Yeah.
And it's kind of wild just how open these levels are. Where in Dark Souls and Bloodborne, you're very kind of cordoned off off of alleyways or streets or castle walls. you can't really jump around and hop all over the place.
Right. Yeah, that's not what those games are about at all.
Yeah. And honestly, like poking around the edges of the map and kind of looking, and you can find a lot of hidden areas that normally, like I'd say, like in Bloodborne or Dark Souls, those areas you wouldn't be able to get to them.
Right.
So that is really interesting.
It's a lot more open.
Yeah, and as far as the story goes, the story is way more forward. There's way more character dialogue, like your character speaks, for example.
What?
Yeah, like
Can't play it.
What a concept.
like Sekiro is his own character who talks a lot. Again, like it's way more direct in its storytelling, and I honestly want to say this probably has the best characters in a FromSoft game since Dark Souls 1. You know, as much as I love Bloodborne, like those characters in Bloodborne aren't a big part of it, but here you talk to the characters a lot. There's a mechanic where you'll find like bottles of sake and you can offer them to the characters and they'll talk about themselves.
Get drunk.
Exactly. And it's great. And you really do feel, I think, for the characters that help you out, like the sculptor, or you're a ninja in the service of a lord, and that lord gets captured, and talking to him, you can feel kind of the sense of loyalty that your main character Sekiro has toward his liege.
That's cool. I mean, like, obviously I'm kind of ignorant to this, and outside looking at it, I haven't played the Souls games, but just from watching other people play, I never would have thought that, like, character is something, the world is interesting and the subtlety of the story, but I've never thought that the characters would be something that stood out. It's like there's the weird doll lady. There's this weird dude that sits in a chair and sells you things. It's like, they're creepy and cryptic, but nothing touching about,
Yeah, I think
character relationships.
Yeah, it's interesting to see these characters interact with whatever world they're in. I think Dark Souls does that really well with the whole mechanic of hollowing out, losing your soul, that sort of, losing who you are when you lose your soul. Like, that's very important. A big part of Dark Souls 1, and that's why those characters are so interesting. And then in Sekiro, I feel like the harsh world that they live in, and then the mechanic of what is, I guess, called resurrection, like the idea of immortality.
Oh yeah, so how does that work? How is the whole, like, so you can bring yourself back? Like, can you do that once or something, or is there like a limit? Is there a punishment for doing that?
Yeah. Okay. So this is really important, and
I've just vaguely heard people say, like, oh, it's really different because he comes up with the you died, and then like boom, I'm back.
Yeah. And by no means does that resurrection mechanic make the game any easier.
Yeah.
So anyways, your character has this power of resurrection, and it's explained how he has that in the game. But pretty much when you die, you have an option to resurrect. And you get one more resurrection, but you resurrect, I think, at like half health or about a third of your health. You can reheal, of course. But it's pretty much like a one more. And if you die again, then you're dead for good. You respawn at the last checkpoint. Now that one more can refill as you kill more enemies, as you get like death blows. But I mean, against the boss, like, it's pretty much boss fights. I almost feel like are kind of like best 2 out of 3. So bosses have multiple health bars.
Okay.
And which, again, you're filling up to get a death blow, and you take off 1 health bar, and then you do the next phase.
So it's a Mortal Kombat fight.
Almost, yeah, almost in a way. And the same thing goes for you. Like, you can regain your 1 more through different, or when you clear a health bar or a pip off of a boss by doing a death blow. But I mean, you're very squishy in this game. You only have about like 2 or 3 hits.
FromSoft gives you 2 lives, and it's still harder than it's ever been.
yeah, absolutely.
They'll still like, screw it, you could have 3, you still can't do it.
Shadows Die Thrice, man.
Yeah.
And there's another kind of, from software, they always have their weird kind of world mechanics that aren't really well understood. Demon Souls had world tendency. Yeah, Bloodborne had the insight, which changes what you see as you gain more of it. Sekiro, Sekiro has this thing called the Dragon Rot. And so pretty much the idea is that when you're reviving, you're taking in energy from people around you, essentially. But when you're dying again, pretty much that energy is or when that energy is getting pent up, pretty much. It's kind of like very vaguely explained, but pretty much the more as you die continuously, you spread a thing called dragon rot, which infects friendly NPCs, which sounds very scary, but don't freak out too much because NPCs.
I was freaking out.
Yeah. I mean, I was like, oh god, like, are all my characters going to die? Because I'm going to be dying a lot.
Yeah.
So that means I'm spreading the disease more and more and more.
It says something that FromSoft has established that you believe that might be a possibility.
Yeah.
They might just let you kill all your friends.
Yeah, I was like, I need that sculptor guy because
Yeah.
he makes my prosthetic tools. But no, characters will get sick, but they'll never die. And you can cure it pretty early on into the game.
Just give them some NyQuil.
Yeah, pretty much. The only thing that it stops is their quest line. So, you can't talk to them or, you can't do any of the extra things with them. They still offer their services if they're sick, but they won't die or anything like that.
Okay. So, the last thing I had a question of, and then you can just kind of go off on whatever else you want. I hear that this game has a big stealth component, which just seems very strange to me. I couldn't think of Bloodborne having much stealth, or if it did, I wouldn't think it would be good. But everyone says it's pretty good in Sekiro.
Yeah, I think that is the big, I guess, paradigm shift going from Dark Souls and Bloodborne, is that this game, you're a ninja, and this game has stealth mechanics, and you should definitely use those stealth mechanics, because in this game, fighting more than one enemy at a time is difficult. Like, if you try and fight 3 or 4 guys at a time, there's like just a wall of swords coming at you. You can't block that. You can't, do the dance that you need to do. Right. So it is in your best interest to sneak around to eliminate people silently until there's only a few guys that you have to fight. And even actually with many bosses that are around in the world, if you can sneak up on them and do a death blow, you can take off half of their health or like one of their full health bars before even starting the fight.
That's good.
So stealth is a very big mechanic that you should be using in this game.
Yeah. Yeah, I wouldn't have thought that going into this game.
Yeah. And then with the whole difficulty thing, this game, it's very hard. It's very demanding. I think it's fair because, if you're playing right and you're doing well, I mean, you're like blowing through people, like one-shotting most enemies. But there's a steep learning curve, so don't feel afraid to train, to grind a little, to kind of learn, basic movesets and master the fundamentals in this game. Right. It's going to take a little practice, I think, to get good at it.
So when I talked to you last week, you were a little like, I mean, you were very early on, but you were like, yeah, this is very weird and different and super hard. Like, you didn't really know if you were enjoying it completely or you had the hang of it. Do you think you've gotten, like, are you enjoying it as much as you think you would now? Like,
yeah, definitely. Yeah. I've definitely
you
fully.
Think it stacks up to the other games, so like compare, like it's just as good. Or
oh yeah, I mean, and again, like, it's honestly like a different thing for me. It's just like a different series. It's so far removed from Dark Souls. It's not an RPG. It's an action game, and
probably one of those like, you thought that Bloodborne was different. Well, here's something actually different.
Yeah.
Like,
and it's almost taking some of those ideas of aggression and offense from Bloodborne and taking it to, I think, the next level. Yeah. And actually, if they ever make a Bloodborne 2, which they probably will, I would like to see some of the mechanics from Sekiro get worked into Bloodborne 2, because I think it would benefit from that.
Yeah. I like the faster pace of Bloodborne a lot more. That's why I would play Bloodborne over Dark Souls. But
right.
Bloodborne, blood runs twice.
And with the whole difficulty thing, there's been a lot of people who have been bouncing off Sekiro that it's not for them, and like, hey, that's okay. Not every game needs to be for everybody.
Oh, I think the two people on this side of the table know that's not for them.
Yeah,
but it's a terrible game.
Yeah, I mean, there have been articles and people have been like, oh, this game should be more respectful to the player. It should have an easy option for people who want it.
Shout out to Forbes, who also had another article written there saying, no, Sekiro does not need an easy mode.
So they're fighting each other.
Yeah, so we type in Forbes Sekiro, back-to-back articles.
Nice.
They're obviously from different authors, but it's funny they're side by side.
Yeah, like the difficulty.
I see the second guy's like, oh, hell no, this is not. Still like,
you baby.
Yeah, like the difficulty in these games, that is part of the experience, and like that ties into the whole feeling and the stories of these games. And if you're not struggling, if you're not dying a lot, then I think you're missing a major component of what makes these games special.
I mean, I think there are certain games that I'm like more for. I'm like, yeah, you know, like it's cool to have modes that everyone can enjoy, like Divinity Original Sin 2. I love that game. It is crushing difficult, and like, I mean, if I spent an absurd amount of time, I could have gotten through it on its crushing difficulty. But
you would have been a broken man, but
I would have been a broken man. It would have taken me like hundreds. It would take me a long time, and I wanted to get to other games and everything. So I ended up bumping it down, and I had a great time because the story. Because that game is not completely dependent on its gameplay solely. There's also an awesome story being told and all this. And when I did it on the easier difficulty, there was still a little bit of a challenge, but it was just, I was basically able to move at a more brisk pace and role play basically, because there's so many different like things you can do character wise in there. So that was a great addition for that. And had that not been there, I might not have finished the game, and that would have sucked. Something like Sekiro or Bloodborne or Dark Souls or any of those, that is the experience.
Yeah.
Like, the difficulty is the thing. In Divinity and a lot of other games, that's not the only thing. People could be coming to Divinity with no interest in the difficulty. If you're coming into that, like, that would like kind of take Sekiro out of the
You should know what you're getting into with these games at this point.
Right.
Yeah. And also, like, people are conflating difficulty with the same thing as accessibility, which those are two different things.
Yeah. Right.
But yeah, I yes, these games are hard, and there's something kind of awesome about them being hard. Like when you meet a boss and the game is like, hey, this guy, he's a badass. You feel it and you believe it because he is, and he's gonna kick your ass.
Oh, and just like part of the game is the feeling that you get from overcoming those things. I mean, like, I don't think you would really enjoy Sekiro or Bloodborne or any of these that much if you could just roll through it.
Yeah,
easily. Like, it would just be like, okay, you just slash things. There's not really much of a story going on or anything, and it's like, I just blew through this and it wasn't fun.
Yeah,
you know, like,
like if this game had an easy mode, it would be not as good as it is.
Right.
Simply put.
And that's why I think games should be able to be what the creators intended, you know, and like I say, it's just not like easy mode and everything is not for every game.
Yeah. It'd be like going to like, I don't know, like a death metal album and being like, you know, like this
you should
this
take the screaming out because not everyone likes
it's
that.
Really heavy. You know, I think there should be some more pop hooks into this death metal album.
I agree.
It's like, what? No,
that's what melodic death metal is.
But again, I'm really enjoying this game a lot. Not for everybody. I would say also, if you were able to, probably play it on PC over PlayStation 4. I've had a little stuttering at some times on a stock PlayStation 4. So, and that this is a game where you want.
That's what caused all this death. That little stutter.
Yeah, you want. you do want like a solid frame rate for this.
Yeah. How are the load times? That's been the problem with games recently.
They're not too bad.
Okay.
I
know Bloodborne's load times out the gate were bad, but
yeah. I think this is fine.
Okay.
Not a big problem for me.
That's good.
But yeah, I am really enjoying this. If you like Dark Souls, you've liked Bloodborne, check this out, but be prepared for it not to jive with you.
Right.
And likewise, if you didn't like Dark Souls, you didn't like Bloodborne, you wanted like more of like a streamlined action experience, you might actually enjoy this more.
Yeah.
But yeah, really good, really hard, difficult, really difficult game. Probably like one of the hardest I've played in a good while.
I'm just happy to see that FromSoft has had a bunch of success, and they're still trying to innovate and not going for the least common denominator when it comes to, like, they're making the games they want to make clearly.
Yeah.
And it's just like, they happen to be successful, great, but like they're making,
I'm happy to hear like Sekiro's still a FromSoft game, even if it is different, because a lot of people are kind of worried because this is an Activision game.
Right, yeah. If you were worried that Activision being involved would change this game's difficulty in any way, clearly not.
Seems like Activision had no hands in anything of this other than marketing and financing and stuff.
Just some money.
Yeah. And there's which is fine.
Yeah. And there's so many great...
Probably means Sekiro is going to sell a lot more than it would have.
Yeah. And like one of the things that I love about these games is just a lot of the, I guess, cinematic qualities of it. Like one of the first bosses that you run into, He was in the trailers, so it's not really like a spoiler, but you go into this battlefield, and you've kind of heard people talking about this guy, but there's a guy named like Gyobu Masataka Oniwa. He comes out on a horse with a giant spear and like is like shouting his name, and you fight him on the horse, and you're actually using the grapple mechanic to grapple to him because he's running around, and it's really awesome. So they have definitely taken, I think, some of the action-oriented aspects of these games and upped it even more.
Nice. Sweet.
I've seen footage. Apparently, they're terrifying giant chickens.
Oh, God, yeah. Why are they so huge? There's also giant crickets.
Wait, there's
well.
chocobos in this game?
God, those chickens will mess you up, man. There's a part earlier on where you walk into like a little complex, and there's like 6 chickens. And you're like, oh, God.
Oh, no.
What am I going to do against these chickens?
It's cruel. They're
Zelda flashbacks.
Last thing I'll say is there should be a trophy, an achievement for beating the game and dying twice. Not dying at all or dying once. If you don't die at all or you die once, you don't get the trophy. But if you die twice, you get the trophy.
Sorry, they want the platinum to be attainable.
But I would wait. What if someone beat the game and didn't die at all, and they're like, nope. No,
the only way that
you got to start over and die twice.
No, I'm about to say the only way that trophy can be attainable is you have people playing it multiple times.
Yeah.
And this is apparently not a short game, so.
Yeah, it's not a short game either. I'm like about 17 hours in. I'm at like the halfway point.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. Alrighty. Well, let's move on. Well, the next one we have on here is Danganronpa V3. I'm sure, Jeff, you're not going to talk about it too much here because it's impossible to talk about this without spoilers.
Yeah,
Jeff told me what the spoilers were, and holy shit, it's just insane. We might, maybe when, after the podcast, like maybe before we leave today, me and you can come back in here and record a really quick spoiler thing, because we don't want to spoil Jacob on it. So maybe at the end of the podcast, check that out. But overall, did you like it, Jeff?
I did. I have a little Okay, so yeah, this is the third, or well, technically the fourth, but officially the third game, the Danganronpa series or whatever. It's the closure. This is the finale. Blah blah blah. So yeah, it's hard to talk about this game without spoilers.
I mean, this is just a very brief thing. We'll do more at the end. But just overall, did it live up to the other ones? Did it feel like
Yeah, I think it did. I'm on the side of I like this game. I actually enjoyed the ending and all that kind of stuff, even though I see how it could make some people not happy.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I guess I can get into how I compare it to other games, that kind of stuff. So I don't think this is my favorite Danganronpa game. I definitely don't think it is. I think that goes to 2, because Danganronpa is a series. As the series goes on, it gets more insane.
Right.
And in some ways here, it went a little too insane, where I'm like,
2 was the right mix of grounded and insane.
Exactly. And also, I think 2 had the better cases. I think it had the better characters and all that kind of stuff.
Gotcha.
Some of the cases here, and again, I'm not going to say what happened in them or anything. Some of them were just kind of like kind of nonsense in ways. They were kind of fun nonsense, but after I was done, I was thinking of the first case and like how grounded those were, and like, okay, this stuff can actually kind of happen for the most part. He's like, man, a lot of things had to go the perp's way in some ways, and then some ways for the people to find out all that kind of stuff. Some motivations in some cases were kind of out of nowhere. Even, there's some cases in the other games where the motivation wasn't found out until the end of the case once you find out who it was. But in these, it's like, but you can at least see why ones in the other games they did it, and it kind of tied into the game.
Mm-hmm.
These are just kind of random in a way.
Were these, because one thing I hate in like mystery stuff like this is when like there is zero chance you could have predicted the twist.
Yeah.
Ever. Like I don't like that. I like it when like I never predict the twist, but I like it to be like, oh, why didn't I see that coming?
Yeah, I mean, it's kind of.
Shout out to the Heavy Rain.
It's kind of that way. The whole I seen that coming when you find out who it is, just based off all the information and everything. But why they did it can be kind of lame in a couple cases in particular.
Okay.
Gotcha. Stuff like that. And as far as the characters, again, this is the third Danganronpa. They went more insane. For example, in Danganronpa, each character, they're all high school students, is the ultimate something. Like, Ultimate Detective is one, Ultimate Lucky Student, and stuff like that has been some. To give an example of how crazy this one can get in comparison, I mean, there's stuff like Ultimate Pianist in this one, but we got Ultimate Robot.
Okay.
We got Ultimate Supreme Leader.
Sorry, this is probably an ignorant question. Are they still at like the school, the special like gifted high school?
They're in outer space now.
Is
I guess they're right.
No, yeah. Is it? Are they or not?
They are in a school about this, and part of it, they are in the main school in the first one. But in this one, you don't know what school you're in the beginning. That's all I'll say.
Okay, so it's probably like a spoiler. Very like okay, yeah, I got you.
So leave that. And something there, because they ramped up, there's some characters that are very annoying. One character in particular, and then just one kind of personifies one problem I have with this game. There's a character called Mew who is the ultimate inventor. She's supposed to be the fan servicey character for sure. She will not shut up about sex.
Nice.
Everything she says involves sex. They're not even innuendos for the most part. One example I had, and I'm kind of making this more I kind
of appreciate how blatant that is.
Yeah, it's kind of annoyingly so.
We're trying to have a normal conversation. Hey, have you heard about sex? Yes.
No, I mean, pretty much, and it's kind of like randomly come up, and she's talking to a guy, hey, you can think about me later tonight, or crap like that. I'm like, oh, God. Why is this a thing? I mean, not to say the other games didn't have that kind of stuff.
Just asked how your day was.
It's like, but this character is all that. I mean, she's involved in the story because she's an inventor and she's important in that way, but that whole sex thing is not really needed.
Yeah, I couldn't play this game. for MIDI fan service reasons.
Yeah. But, yeah, a lot of that. There's a lot more references in here, like Sonic the Hedgehog is referenced and all that kind of stuff.
Okay.
Investigation trials are fun. Yeah, indie's cool. Definitely the longest game Danganronpa series. I think it's close to doubles the first one.
You still recommend this whole series of games, though, too?
Yeah, I overall, if you're into stuff like, I think Jacob at least gets at least some enjoyment out of the first couple. It's one of those things like the first two. It's like if you enjoy the first one, you probably like the second one, for instance. But for the third one as a whole, that was a toss-up for the most part. I know Dario wouldn't like it, but if you like the first two, it can be kind of a toss-up. Yeah. Just based on the ending.
It would be interesting if you do play it at some point to just hear you and Jeff talk about the ending that he told me.
Yeah. That's all I'll say, yeah. That's most I can do without spoilers.
Yeah. Sounds good to me. Well, Jeff has sunsetted Danganronpa. That's it. He did it.
Bye-bye.
Yeah, I've been itching for a mystery game, so maybe I'll check it out.
Yeah, I'm kind of still in the mood for some, so I might either get the Last Resort games,
Virtuo's Last Reward.
Yeah. Those games, or the firstly Phoenix Wright games are coming out on Switch in about a week.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to those.
So I might pick those up.
Objection. You can't do it.
Objection.
Well, Jeff, I have finally started playing Night in the Woods.
Finally.
Not going to talk too much about it because I'm still really early in, but I'm already in love. I'm already in love with
Good.
Those characters. Jeff, I mean, you've been saying that I need to play this, and I know I've known that it's my type of game for so long.
I should have checked. I'm pretty sure May and the cast were my top for those categories in our 2017.
Yeah, I could totally see that because I mean, right away it just has so many hooks that I'm into. It's like these, the main character, May is her name, right? Yeah, May dropped out of college and she's coming back to her hometown.
She's a cat.
Yeah, and they're all like...
It's like BoJack Horseman in the way of...
Funny animals.
Yeah, these are animals, but they actually are like human.
They're basically like nothing about them is animal. They're all just people, but they have an animal like aesthetic.
Which
for some reason I always just so like I like it in BoJack, I like it in this. It's just it's just cute and fun. But I mean, instantly the writing is just very kind of like... It's very funny, but also has those like kind of dramatic hooks in them. It's like BoJack where I'm laughing and these people are endearing and everything, but then they're also like very real issues and anxieties that I experience a lot that I can relate to, and it's you're very quickly introduced to her and all of her friends, and just everyone kind of has their thing. They're in a band. They're like playing. Right. They're like playing different things. And like,
are you sucking at those parts, Harvey?
Yeah, it was pretty bad.
No, I mean, I think everyone does.
It was pretty bad. Yeah, it was fun. It was pretty bad.
I think it's the canon to fail.
Yeah, you play the bass.
Cool.
So whenever you play the thing,
That's
it's,
all right.
it's very like bonk, bonk, bonk. Like they isolate the bass a lot, and it's cool. But no, everyone kind of like, you know, you have the shy person and the person who's more outgoing, and like you're walking around the city, and it's very cool to just, they don't show you all these things that happened in her past, but you talk to everyone in the city, and they're like, oh, hey, May, you're back. What happened? Why aren't you in school? And you can tell that she's just kind of like, I don't really want to talk about it.
I guess you're early on, so are you doing the same thing I did where every day you go talk to everyone?
Yeah. And that's also the cool thing. It's repetitive, but in a good way, where every day you leave your house and there's the same people on the street, but every day you talk to them and there's like a new development in their lives, basically. You know, like you see someone who's just got fired from their job, and I assume he's going to be later, you know, doing other things. So
yeah,
it's like it's setting things up, but it's setting things up in a way that like I'm sure this is going to be a very emotionally like grabbing game for me. Very little gameplay. It's a story-based game. It's like text, right? Yeah, writing stuff. And I like the art style a lot. It's very simple, but I like that stuff.
I will warn you. Have you done any of the dream parts yet?
No.
Okay. Well, those are part of the ones that people aren't crazy about. I'm kind of in agreement with that. They're cool in concept, but they can be overly long and kind of tedious.
Okay.
So just a fair warning.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, and I almost every one of these games, I feel like I almost always end up hating the ending because they feel like they have to ramp it up to something crazy.
Right.
So like we'll see about that. But I'm loving the character so far. It's definitely a me type of game. And the writing is cool. I mean, it's like Life is Strange type writing, but better. Like in the sense that it's like, you know, younger people and young people problems. But
People say nosh.
no one said nosh, but I mean, people say pretty dumb things that I also said dumb things. Yeah. But I like this even more in Life is Strange. I mean, like at least it relates to me even more in Life is Strange because May's 20 years old and like dealing with the anxiety of like, what do I do with my life after college? Obviously, that's very, you know, like very hits home a lot for me. So yeah. So I will update that more as I play it because I will continue to play. Cool.
And speaking of 2017 games that people are catching up on, I
played Persona this year, so it's 2017 part 2.
I have started Nier Automata. I am about 8 hours in.
All right.
Stuff seems like they're ramping up and getting crazy.
How do you feel about it?
I'm liking it. Not much. I feel like not much has happened really story wise yet. Partly because I'm doing a lot of the side quests.
Yeah. That will pad it out.
I actually do like the side quests, at least so far. I can see maybe getting annoying later, depending. I like because they give good rewards.
They do.
You get a good bit of money, you get a good bit of experience, you get items that are useful.
Yeah, and some of them are like really, really well done.
No, I kind of like it because I think I know at least one way the story's going as far as like 2B and 9S. I mean, I think this is kind of like this thing. It fits in this thing. The whole thing. They're questioning their organization. Like,
yeah. It's alluding to. Yeah. There's more going on than what you know.
There's doing that, and I like how the side quests are because as far as I know, I don't know if there's going to be like some kind of thing at some point, like, hey, go do all these side quests before you can move on or something like that.
Yeah, no, it's not like that. It's just if you want to do them, do them.
And I like how it's building it because you're doing stuff with androids and the robots, just the machines, and it's like, I think it'll reinforce the whole them questioning thing even more than if I didn't do the side quests.
Yeah.
I think that's fair to say?
Yeah. The side quests, I think, add more information to your understanding of the world and what's going on. So they are definitely worth checking out.
Yep.
But don't feel pressure to do them. Like there's one that's like, protect the parade from enemies. So, you know, if you're not feeling that, you don't have to do it.
It's just like horror and stuff. Yeah.
So that's a lot of fun. Combat's fun and flashy and all that kind of stuff. Doing more stuff with the combos as we go on. Getting some weapons, upgrading them. Have no need to really buy weapons.
Just
getting them, then upgrading them.
There's pretty much like they as you upgrade them, you know, they different weapons will have special abilities, so those are kind of useful. But you know, there's pretty much 4 different classes of weapons.
Yep.
What pretty much everyone says is that the part of Nier Automata that everyone like freaks out and talks about is the replays. Like the
Yeah, that's kind of like
B and C stories.
Yeah, that's kind of sounding like
Yeah.
it's one of those games probably be better as I go on and get close the first ending and go on and do the other parts. So
Yeah.
let's see.
What part are you in? Like vaguely. It's about 8 hours in.
I just, as far as the main story stuff I did, I think the last thing I really did, I went to underground, if that means anything.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Cool.
The last couple hours I did side stuff. Just trying to, because it opened up fast travel finally. I was kind of worried, like, is this going to end up being very tedious because I'm walking everywhere.
Mm.
I mean, it's not like it takes too long, but it adds up or whatever. And it's not like there's really much. It's not like Red Dead necessarily where stuff can happen or stuff's going on or anything.
Boring travel.
Yeah.
Well,
killing some
flashy travel.
Yeah, because you're killing robots and all that stuff on the way. But
and you kind of need that experience.
Yeah. But I liked when fast travel opened because that's when I said, okay, I got all these side quests to open up. I'm just gonna go over and, travel to different places and get those done.
Right. Right.
How many camera shots have they done up to B skirt?
None that they've done. I don't
Yeah,
think.
it's actually totally. So people like think that it's all about the booty, but it's really just up to you if you want to do that.
Oh,
Yeah. If you want to move that camera,
Yeah,
and you get a trophy for it.
she even gets annoyed. She's like, "What? Really? Like, come on." But it's like people chose to look at the booty.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And the fan art certainly shows
Right.
to look at it.
But I would say with the gameplay, how you said you were enjoying it.
Yeah.
Yeah. I love the designs of the robots, of the machines.
Mm-hmm.
I think they're really well done and interesting. Like not like a typical robot you would see, I think, in a lot of games. I'd also say, like, if you start to feel that the gameplay is a little too easy, bump it up to hard. But be warned that hard is really hard.
Yeah, I looked at this stuff and I can't remember where there are some weird things like I can't remember. There's a weird modifier or things that change. Like I know very hard is one hit you're dead.
Yeah. I would not recommend people starting out hard in the beginning because like there are enemies that can like one shot you.
Mm-hmm.
So
yeah, screw that.
Yeah, I've only died twice, I think, and one of the time was early on, and with a big robot, I just kind of got too close, and then I don't think I had a instant heal chip thing yet. Oh yeah, there was something else I didn't know about going. It kind of like a Dark Souls-y thing. When you die, your body is left, and you got to go back and get so you can get your
plug-in chips.
Yeah, your plug-in chips and stuff.
You can leave funny messages for people.
Yep.
Oh, it really is Dark Souls.
I turned that online stuff off.
Yeah,
I read some stuff like there'll be dead bodies everywhere from other people. I'm like, I don't need all that.
Yeah, I mean, it's just kind of you can select different messages, so it's just kind of like a.
I doubt that's like intrusive or anything. It's not intrusive in
No.
Dark Souls.
I actually looked it up to see should I have this on. I saw some people say it was annoying because of like bodies blocking places.
Wow. There we go.
Yeah, maybe. I never had a problem with it.
Well, I think the two of you should definitely do a spoiler cast like me and Jeff did with Persona whenever you're done.
Jacob.
What did I say?
Jeff.
No, well, I said the two of you or whatever. Yeah,
you said like.
Okay, yeah. You know what I mean.
Yeah.
Y'all should definitely do that.
And but most importantly though, how's that soundtrack?
It's great.
It is wonderful. I love that soundtrack so much.
No.
Every song is the best song.
Every one of them.
No lies.
I mean, really, like it's so good.
Yep.
But yeah, Nier. I'm excited that you're playing Nier.
Wanted to get to it. Yeah, now it's time. Get into that backlog somewhere. There's no giant releases coming out.
Nope. That's what I'm trying to do. Clearly.
Speaking of giant releases, Derby.
Speaking of giant releases,
there's a game coming out next month that we got to play.
And I am so stoked for
We
it.
played the Mortal Kombat 11 beta.
We did. Me and Jeff streamed it for 2 hours. You can go watch that on YouTube. You can see us
See how
beat some fools. We
bad
did surprisingly well. We got paired with some people online that weren't just absolutely gods. So that was good. So yeah, I've played a lot more than that outside of that stream, and I mean, it's one of those things. It's Mortal Kombat. If you don't like Mortal Kombat, you're not gonna like this Mortal Kombat. If you do like Mortal Kombat, you're gonna love this Mortal Kombat. You know, it's one of those things. It's like Mortal Kombat with a fresh coat of paint and some different moves and everything.
I mean, there are some different mechanics going on.
Yes, there are, and crucially, like I think the most important, the most obvious different one is the Fatal Blow, which is basically before the X-ray moves you could do. They were tied to your meter, like the meter the same meter you were using to like enhance your different moves. So basically, at high level Mortal Kombat play, no one was ever doing the X-rays because they were using meters for moves,
which is fair.
Yeah, which is fair. But now they've separated those two. So you have your meter for your different moves. You have offense and defense meter, like two separate ones. And then the Fatal Blow, just whenever you get to a low enough health, you get to use the Fatal Blow. And you only get one successful Fatal Blow per round, like per entire match.
So yeah, best two athlete, you can only use it once. You can't use it every match.
So you definitely get to the point where it's like there's an interesting like weighing, should I use this, should I not? And like sometimes I'll bait the other person into using the Fatal Blow in the first round, and then I beat them. So it's like, okay, great, now they can't use it the rest of the time, and I can. So it's an interesting like risk reward thing there. The overall I like a lot. It definitely gets to the point where like when both of you have Fatal Blow and you're both in killing distance, it's like, oh god, you're constantly blocking.
Yeah, something I noticed about the Fatal Blow, just kind of roughly, there's on the health meter, it's pretty obvious we can get Fatal Blow because the health bar kind of curves down. The amount that it's curved at the end is how much the Fatal Blow does, so you can kind of figure. I mean, obviously, if they're in Fatal Blow range, use a Fatal Blow and then they'll die, but you at least know if they have a little health left.
Right. And you can use it. I've used it when I was low on health and they had a lot to just like kind of even it up and try to get back. There's going to be interesting moments. And I think it's going to be cool to finally see those moves be used all the time instead of just with casuals like us who use it because we're desperate. But other than that, the combos and stuff like that are mostly the same. I feel a little easier just stringing things together so far in this game than I have in the past.
That's something that a more experienced player noticed when they first got the game, played the game in January. Something I noticed. Like Maximilian dude said similar things.
Yeah, just generally like I feel like just the general like back triangle or back square, back X or whatever, just all the directional, just simple movements. They are like extravagant enough, or they do things that are clearly defined enough to where like I can string things together. I don't necessarily have to look at the combo list because I know that like I play Jade a lot, so I know I do like away triangle, she'll do this pole thing, so then I can follow that up with a low kick or something. Whereas I feel like in previous Mortal Kombat games, that at least for me was never intuitive. I would have to look that stuff up and memorize it, but I feel like I can kind of like play around with it a lot more in this one. It's hard to explain, but it just feels more natural.
Yeah, the button's still intuitive of what move you're doing.
Like I just think, I need to go low, so I just do the low
button
instead of like I need to look up what thing, because that sucks. I hate that when you get in Mortal Kombat where you're like, you have no idea what you're doing or why you're doing it. You're just doing the combo because it's a lot harder to do. So overall, and it's obviously flashy and crazy, the fatalities are super cool. It's Mortal Kombat. They're having fun with it for sure. There's not like a single C to be found in any of the menus. It's all K's. It's I don't know. It just seems goofy, and I love it, which is what Mortal Kombat should be. It absolutely should be. And this was just 5 characters. All of them I feel like I could play. All of them seem pretty viable to me. So the fact that we're gonna have like 25 different ones to play around with, and then 6 DLCs, I'm stoked. I am super pumped. I am also not very good at the game. Like online, I think half of the matches I just got my teeth kicked in. The other half, there was like a quarter were really close in the won, and a quarter were really close in the lost. But it could be better. That's it. One last thing before we get into the news, and we definitely need to get into the news. But Final Fantasy VII is on the Switch. Final Fantasy VII on the Nintendo console. I'm so happy. I am playing it a little bit, and it's really cool. I think it's really cool to play that game just portably, and like I think I probably will just eat away at it for the next 3 years, just whenever I'm in bed, which is cool. It's pretty much the exact same PC port that came out like in 2013, and that was also the same port that pretty much went to the PS4. Down to the fact that there's even a few bugs that got like ported into this.
Okay.
So there wasn't much work done there, but there is one new feature that I actually really like as someone who's played this game 2 times through and then halfway like 2 more times. You can easily just with a click of a button, you can speed it up to go 3 times as fast. So you can just speed through something like, to save time. You can turn off random encounters. And there's a button where like basically you press this button and your health just gets refilled and you get your limit break. So it's basically like you can cheese it, but it's for replaying it. Like me, I'm interested in replaying this, but I've played it 2 times with 100 hours on both of them. So like 200 hours of gameplay. I know this game. So it's like maybe I don't feel like going through the tedious dungeon. Maybe I can just speed through it.
You're not looking for a challenge.
Right. Yeah. Which I think is super cool for replaying it, for how long it is. Those are cool additions. And I see myself, at least, like, not all the time, but I see myself being like, this is a long area. I'm just going to random encounter off and,
Right.
So that's cool quality of life stuff. For
good features.
Like, if you play it, definitely don't use any of those. But for someone
don't tell me what to do. No random encounters. Just
wow,
fight
Darby,
the
that
bosses.
game was really easy.
Yeah.
I know.
I never died.
Just play Final Fantasy 7 as a story game.
It's a visual novel.
Yeah, visual novel. Yeah. So I just wanted to say that was a cool addition.
Did you know Aerith dies?
Jeff, I'm hurt.
Hey, I can't drop Danganronpa spoilers.
Gotta drop something. All right, Jeff. Let's get into the news finally. Jingle, jingle, jangle.
Jingle, jingle,
I
jingle.
took it. I did it this time. Ha.
After 90 episodes. Okay,
What's this?
so what I'm probably going to try to do here for a lot of these stories is kind of streamline me reading it. Just give basic stuff. Still give credit though. First thing comes from Jonathan Dorby from IGN. Well, Gearbox had their PAX East 2019 little presentation thing. They confirmed and announced Borderlands 3. It is in development.
You were right. I was wrong.
They gave no release date, platforms, or price. Let's see. There's gonna be more information on April 3rd, so we'll get that this week. I don't know why they just didn't do all that stuff. There's a trailer.
Yeah.
They're showing off some new stuff. They also announced the Borderlands Game of the Year edition, which comes out also on April 3rd. Includes some quality of life edition. These include Borderlands 2 style mini map, inventory updates allow players to lock and label weapons as junk, and auto pickups of items from the ground. I'm sure that's very useful. Also, they fixed the final boss battle, which is infamously bad. Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah. So did y'all see this Borderlands 3 trailer?
I did.
What did you think about it?
I am surprisingly excited.
It was a good trailer.
Looks neat.
Yeah.
It was a hype trailer.
Now, I know it's the Borderlands style, but I was looking at this like, did Borderlands always look like a Telltale game?
Well, I mean, Telltale did.
Well, it's
I know, but
cell shaded. So.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, like, a lot of cell shaded stuff kind of all looks cell shaded. I mean,
that
Unless
looks
you're-
really
unless you're a
Telltale.
student-
I don't mean it a bad way, but
and Borderlands came first.
Unless
right?
you're a
I
Suda
know,
51
but-
game.
no,
and
that's yeah.
Yeah.
Unless
Yeah.
you're-
Looks like this could be a Telltale game.
It looks better than a Telltale game to me.
Yeah.
but it obviously has the same style.
Yeah.
Which just made Telltale was able to make a Borderlands game, and it looks like a Telltale.
Right,
it fits in very well.
Yeah, no, I didn't think I'd be excited for Borderlands 3. I thought that was a type of game that, I played in high school, but
Right.
I'm actually excited for this. This looks really cool.
Yeah, I'm still not like 100% like I know I'm gonna buy this day one or anything.
Right.
But I mean that, like I said, the trailer was it was a well put together trailer. Like
Yeah.
it was very self aware. It was very Borderlands style. Like it has an attitude to it.
Had a bunch of stuff where the little like Borderlands fans could catch and get excited for, like characters being apparently there's a character from Tales from the Borderlands in there.
Mm-hmm.
And just some other characters from like the first game coming back. And all
I'm
that
just
stuff.
super interested to see how Borderlands works in like the modern gaming, because in a way Borderlands for its time was very unique. It was almost like the first of the popular like looter shooter type things like this, but it was way more, it still had the single player aspect. Like it brought people like me who don't really play these type of games, and it had like an online aspect. But since then, there are so many games like that now. There's the Destinies and Anthems and Divisions and That's just a very popular thing at this point, like that general concept. So I worry about Borderlands 3 feeling like almost like a Fallout 4 situation where it feels like they just made the game in a vacuum and we're not looking at the outside world at all, and they come out and they're like, here you go, and it's like, oh well, we've kind of moved on past that, at least for the open, like, broad audience.
Yeah, I mean to me, like, with this trailer, with it having all those characters from previous games, it definitely seems like, yeah, this is going to be story driven more so than, like, I mean, who talks about the story in Destiny or The Division? No one.
And I'll be a lot more it'll be a lot more appealing to me if that's the case, right?
Yeah. And I think it's clearly embracing the like the colorfulness of the Borderlands series as well. So I mean, to me, like, this trailer surprised me. I think it stands out to me from the other games of the genre that have come out.
Yeah. Maybe this might be a situation, may not completely like this, but it being made in a vacuum could be a positive because we've had so many looter shooters that are focused on the same thing. Borderlands was not focused necessarily on the whole online aspect.
It could be a positive thing for us and negative things for the sales of the game, potentially. But I mean,
that trailer had a lot of
It's been a
views.
long time since Borderlands, even Borderlands 2 came out. Like, I just hope that Borderlands can still find an audience, basically.
I think so. I think its style is definitely appealing to a lot of people.
Yeah.
And also what I liked about this trailer is that it was goofy, it was over the top, but it wasn't like cringy or memey like a lot of Borderlands 2 is. So I'm hoping
I need a Claptrap to dab, damn it.
Okay, Claptrap is the one exception. He can be a meme lord.
Yeah.
But
as long as he's the only meme lord.
Right, exactly. Like, this seemed a little more toned down in a good way, in a tasteful way.
Yeah, it was like a tasteful, like, it seemed very self-aware. Like, they weren't trying to make jokes they shouldn't make. They were just like, and I was like, every second of that trailer, I was afraid we were going to go into that territory. It was like, we're skirting that line. It's like, you could, one misstep and this could be cringy, but yeah.
1 billion guns.
Yeah, I think there was a
guns
thing,
with legs.
Yeah, I think there was a thing where I guess the lead writer for Borderlands 2, which is where a lot of that kind of style of humor came from, he's not involved with this. So it will be a little toned down, a little geared down.
I feel like something that will really excite people if, I don't know if this has already been confirmed one way or the other, they announce, like, the writers from Tales of the Borderlands are involved.
That'd be great. Yeah.
Because people always say, like, that's the best Telltale game.
Yeah.
Yeah, and having seen clips from
that
Tales
was
of the
Telltale
Borderlands.
people, right? I mean, probably for the most of this game's development, those people were, at Telltale, probably.
Maybe.
Yeah. I mean, Telltale only closed down last year. It's obvious
Right.
this game's been made for years.
Doesn't mean those writers were there, Dari.
It doesn't, but,
Yeah. And then the new characters that they showed off in the trailer looked pretty neat too.
Yeah.
You had like a robot with like a cloak on him. There was like a guy with like a big mustache. He kind of looked like the captain guy from Borderlands 1 and 2. Can't remember his name. The new siren type character had like,
she looked cool.
Yeah, like these like collie-esque arms, like power arms, look really interesting. And then there was like another one who was like I can't remember, but like a gun girl type sort of thing. But those characters look really neat, especially the robot.
It's
for
a very
for
distinctive
myself.
style, and hopefully it is a type of thing where it will be fun if, like, we all have the game and we could do like co-op stuff.
Yeah, that's the best way to play.
That's
those
the best
games.
way to play the other Borderlands. I hope that feels just as good now. Yeah, I'm super interested in it.
Yeah.
And I'm sure we'll talk about more next week, depending on what they talk about
Yeah.
on Wednesday.
Yep.
Moving on. We got more presentations this past week. First one, on Monday, PlayStation had their first State of Play presentation video thingamabob.
We also reacted to that.
We did react and talk about it some, so we won't go as in-depth as we won't go as in-depth here as we did there. You can watch that, but we can get some updated thoughts. We can get some Jacob thoughts.
Them hot Jacob takes.
Yep. So I was kind of go through some of the announcements and see what I guess.
Should make some graphic that comes up hot Jacob takes with like fire in the background.
Okay, first thing, Iron Man VR was announced, coming out 2019. It is exclusive to the PSVR. Marvel Studios.
If you want to see me lose my mind and then and then proceed to realize what it actually was, and be sad. You can go watch our reaction.
Big
But
disappointment.
the guy shouted, "Holy shit!" and then proceeded to, "Oh, it's VR."
Yeah.
Guys like Batman VR. Here's it for Iron Man.
Yeah.
I don't know. If
Here's
it's gonna be
some.
like that, but-
Here's some just crappy clouds. The just in the
Yeah,
cloud
and the
shooters.
cup. I think it was Bloodworth from Easy Allies pointed out that the cover is also Iron Man in the sky, so then I just be kind of the whole game.
Yeah,
But there's a bunch of story around what you're shooting and stuff.
there's definitely a possibility that like that is
Yeah.
the entire game.
Yeah, but it might. As far as the how long it is, it might be substantial compared to other VR because they are doing a box cover. It always doesn't mean anything, but we'll wait. We'll see. It's coming out.
If you
soon.
made me guess, I'd say this is not going to be a good game or a well-selling game. But
Probably not. Next thing, Crash Team Racing Nitro Fuel. They had a little trailer that we mainly thought showed off the old school skins for Crash and crew, but there was also another reel in there that they probably should have said. It was just kind of like, if you know Crash racing games, you've caught it, but if not, no. It was revealed that the game would also feature tracks from Crash Nitro Kart, the sequel to Crash Team Racing. So it's getting a whole bunch of new karts in it. They also showed the retro skins and announced a retro track that will be exclusive to the PS4 version. So, yeah, it sounds like the retro stuff is going to be a PS4 exclusive, so lame.
oh, it is okay.
That's
Yeah,
what
we
it-
talked
yeah.
about how that sucks. Yeah, it sucks.
Yeah, it's like, should I get it on PS4? I will figure that out later.
So is it just one retro track? Or
That's
is
what
it
they're doing, and I don't know. Like, they
Because it
didn't really
looked like
say.
it was like in the actual original art style, like on
Yeah.
whenever they.
So we don't know if it's just a skin for a track or it's actually like a brand new track.
Yeah,
Like, it's really different. If it's a skin, I'll be like, screw it, I'll still get on the Switch. But
I thought there was a chance that was like every track can be the original or the new. It was like that would be cool.
that would be cool. That's a lot of work.
That is a lot of work.
One of the bigger things in this, I would say, No Man's Sky is going to have a VR mode with the Beyond update, and it's not just like a little mode that's on its own. You can play the whole game in VR.
yeah,
And
Pretty cool.
It's also on the PC as well.
yeah. It's one of those things that is cool, but I would be very worried that it makes
Yeah.
you sick because
Yeah.
anytime you're adding VR into an existing game, and it's a small team,
Yeah.
it's like there's a lot of like barriers to this. But
Hey, if I hear it's good, my interest in potentially getting No Man's Sky on sale shoots up.
everyone said that it's good now.
turning
Everyone
out.
says
Yeah,
that
yeah.
Beyond.
Turned it around.
Yeah.
Multiplayer Dungeon Crawler Ready Set Heroes was announced. Yeah.
Yep.
Look neat. Blood and Truth will launch May 28th. Yeah, we're getting to a bunch of VR stuff.
Yeah, which if you don't know, this was the PlayStation World's heist demo. They
The
just
London
made
heist.
it. They made it into a full game.
Yep,
Basically.
they made it into a full game. It looks dope. They definitely put the budget on this to get some. I think they got an actor from Error in there. It's like, do I know that guy? Yep, I know that guy.
This was another trailer that was like self-aware. It's like this is like a John Wick crazy action movie in VR.
I
Like,
can't remember. I think they got like an actual Hollywood writer for this.
okay
for an
well,
action movie. And yeah, it's on pre-sale or whatever. It's $40, which is the same thing as Astrobot. So interested to see how this game is, how the reviews on that kind of
Looks like
stuff.
it would be fun.
Yeah. Falcon Age launches April 9th. This game looks pretty cool. It can be playable in non-VR. Interested to hear how this game is.
Fist bump Falcon.
Yep, I want to fist bump a Falcon. Table of Tales launches April 16th. Jupiter and Mars launches April 22nd. Looks trippy. Little dolphins and stuff.
I don't remember that one.
Like the weird underwater one with the
Oh
light-up
yeah,
dolphins
yeah,
and stuff.
yeah.
Everybody's Golf VR launches May 21st. Trevor's... Maybe I'll say something here.
Nah.
Trevor Saves the Universe launches May 31st. I'm definitely interested in this game. A lot of people have previewed it since then. And they gave some interviews on it. It's on sale right now on the PSN store. $30, but you get 10% off if you pre-order it.
Okay.
It's apparently the humor is obviously insane. It's like one of the most vulgar games.
This is
But-
Justin Roiland.
Yeah.
Yeah, Rick and Morty fame. He's voicing a lot of the characters. You hear some people sounding like Rick. And I was surprised to hear they've been working on this game for 2 years. This is a full game. They said the actual game to beat it is like over 8 hours.
Wow. Oh yeah.
Big for a VR game.
And there's like 20 hours of dialogue from Justin Roiland, pretty much
Wow.
just throughout the whole thing. So I guess Gotta play through multiple times and explore and stuff.
It's crazy. He's pretty full into the video game.
I think he's co-founder of Squanch Games.
Yeah.
Definitely. And this is playable outside VR, but I feel like it is definitely a game that will lose something from it.
I didn't know it was playable outside of VR.
Yep.
I've only seen it advertised in VR content.
Yeah. I mean, I'll be playing in VR. Mini Meg Mayhem launches June 18th. Vacation Simulator also launches on June 18th.
Yeah.
I need a vacation, guys.
Is that game that was mistaken for The Good Life at the Xbox indie thing, or was that something else? That was another like tropical vacation.
I don't
game.
think this is the job simulator.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, this is the VR
This is
only
just
game.
What
a
if you
sequel
Xbox?
to that? Yeah.
Okay.
We'll get to the good life.
I was wondering.
Observation launches May 21st. This is not a VR game. Looks cool.
Yeah, this is the Devolver Digital
Devolver
game, right?
Digital thing.
Looked
pretty cool.
interesting. You're like in space. This person like stranded in space. I just want to know what the actual gameplay is. And it seems like you were like seeing her through like cam footage on the actual spaceship. It was almost like fixed camera angles, like Resident Evil
I
style.
think you switch through cameras to see stuff.
Yeah, and it seems
Exact
very
things.
story based, but I just want to know what you're actually doing in the thing.
Well, it's coming out soon,
Speaking
Darby.
of cameras,
Oh, yeah. Five Nights at Freddy VR
Doing a
Help
lead-in.
Wanted was announced and coming this spring. I am interested in this game. Just
Just
It's
for
gonna be
the
fun.
hashtag content.
hashtag content, and it'd be fun to throw people in.
Yeah, I want to put Olivia in it.
Yeah, so I'm hoping it's cheap. And it does include a bunch of levels from the original Five Nights at Freddy stuff, and then some new original levels for this game. So.
apparently the lore of Five Nights at Freddy's is pretty deep.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, it is.
I've followed it for a while just because I was interested in it, and it just kept getting more and more just
Weird stories.
weird, and it just goes deeper and deeper. It's like, this is kind of messed up.
Yeah. Those games have a good following.
Yeah. It definitely, Five Nights at Freddy's is getting to the Skyrim levels of it's coming to your smart fridge.
It's coming to VR, just like Skyrim did. Concrete Genie got a new trailer and got a whole lot more stuff. Best showing for the game, in my opinion.
I agree.
Coming out this year, or fall of this year. Be excited for that one.
Yeah, very cool looking, smaller
Yeah,
game for Sony to be publishing.
yeah, and the trailer was a lot more story focused than stuff we've seen in the past. It seems like they expanded on the project, so excited for that. Days Gone got a new trailer. This was,
It's just Days Gone.
I mean, yeah, this whole Days Gone was like, hey, Days Gone's coming out next month. We got to show it off.
Guys like not the motorcycle series. What's it called? Anarchy Reign? No.
Sons of Anarchy?
Sons of Anarchy.
Yes,
You guys like Sons of Anarchy and The Walking Dead? Remember television
We're
from
about to make your heads
2013?
explode.
Hey, these aren't zombies, okay? They're freakers.
Oh,
Then
God.
boy, will I have a game for you. That is the single thing that like makes me the most mad about Days Gone. And it's honestly one of the reasons I'm probably not going to get it is that they're like, no, it's not zombies. They're freakers.
They're
I'm like,
live, Darby.
shut up. Just get out of here.
I think the main difference is the reason they're kind of like justifying this, whatever. You can, I think you can technically kill these things by shooting them in the chest and all that kind of stuff. You don't have to headshot them.
I refuse to not call them zombies.
I mean, I'm gonna call them zombies, but yeah.
I appreciate it in media where they're zombies and they call them zombies.
Yes. Just do it.
Yep.
them
And
What is
shufflers.
the MCU's version of mutants that's not mutants?
Inhumans.
Inhumans.
Yep. Those were actual things before, but now she's using that obviously a lot more. And to close the thing off, MK11, Mortal Kombat 11 got a new dope trailer.
That trailer was sweet. I mean, we didn't really see anything we didn't already know because of the leaks and everything. But the trailer itself was just
Well made.
and they're doing the kind of old and new thing, and it's playing like the old rap song, and then it changes to the new when they show the new character Garrus or whatever his name is, and it goes back. Like it was just hype. It was just a hype trailer. Again, Mortal Kombat knows what it is, and I love it.
Johnny Cage is such an asshole. I love it.
There's two of them now. We're doomed.
Yes.
So yeah, that was the
I think
presentation.
they tweeted something with like the two Johnnies. They're like, oh god, there's two of them.
So yeah, that was the presentation. Very heavy on VR. Showing It Is Not Dead, which personally has me excited. I know that's not for everyone, but I got a lot of VR content in the next couple of months. Makes me happy.
I'm happy to see them doubling down on it, and I think in the future that's going to be a good. I think PSVR whether it's this version or next version or something, is going to end up being a big thing. And it's going to be good that they supported it this long. Overall, did you watch the state of play thing at all, Jacob?
I did not.
Okay, I feel it's not really that worth watching. Honestly, you see the releases and that's it.
Right.
And I think me and Jeff both agree. Like, obviously, there wasn't anything too crazy in this, but from the like macro sense, I really like the style of this.
Nintendo Direct.
And I think it's straight up a Nintendo Direct. They completely ape the Nintendo Direct style, which I think is a very wise thing. And going forward, I'm just happy that this is in PlayStation's repertoire.
Yeah,
like,
totally.
Throughout the year, they're gonna pull these out, and I think the future ones are gonna be better than this one.
Yeah. There might have been something that happened earlier today that might hint we might be getting a Last of Us Part 2 and one of these coming up. Because on a bunch of PlayStation websites for like the European countries, under the coming soon thing, they added Last of Us Part 2. And the only other games on there are 2019 games. There's no Ghost of Tsushima or Death Stranding on that thing.
Interesting.
So we'll see about that. Okay, I'm just putting this all in the same thing as it's kind of connected. These are just other Sony related news. One of these probably should have been in here unless there was some reason about it wasn't ready in time or something we're decided on. Well, PlayStation VR has sold over 4.2 million things worldwide. They announced literally right after this, which is not a crazy amount, but for VR at the moment, it's the best selling one.
Yeah.
And yeah, we'll see how that goes in the future. As far as I've seen people talk about like how it's selling at like different points in time, and it seems like the sales are ramping up as things go. Like
that's good.
It's
good
good.
news.
Yeah, it's getting a lot more gains because I'm looking at this and stuff's already on. They're like at least VR in the next couple of months. I'm probably definitely gonna get.
Yeah.
And yeah, something that probably should have been here. The Dreams Early Access release date is April 16th.
So,
And this is limited. This is a limited thing, so you better jump in on that. I think some people may have made the argument for this why it wasn't in there was
maybe that's why.
Because it was limited, so they just want the people who are going to be like who really are into this want to get a hold of it because they won't be able to make stuff.
Yeah, you'll have a lot of people go sign up for it and not get there.
Yep.
Yeah.
So I'm excited for this. So yeah, well, let's move on to another thing that kind of ripped off Nintendo Directs,
which is a good thing.
I do not mean that as a bad way.
Yeah.
It's just kind of fun. So we had the very next day after this thing, we had the idea at Xbox Game Pass, which is pretty much the Xbox version of a Nindies presentation, and it was pretty much the same thing. It was also kind of funny. People did side-by-side pictures of the two people hosting it. It was a guy and a girl, and the guys had about the same glasses on both the recent Nindies Direct and this. It's kind of funny.
It's just the same people wearing different clothes.
Yeah.
So yeah, I'll just go through all this stuff for this. It's important to note this is all on Game Pass. This is all day one. I'll probably reiterate on a couple of them because for some of these games that was the news. They started off with showing Killer Queens Black is going to be coming the Game Pass on the day of its release, which is exciting. That's a game Darby and I have been interested in.
Mm-hmm. Now we'll be able to have it or at least try it out and consider buying it at other places.
I feel like we're going to end up getting it on the Switch still, just because this is an 8-player game, up to 8 players, and the Switch is the only one we have that many controllers.
Right.
We only have 3 for the Xbox, but again, like you said, we can try it out here at the very least.
Yeah, and see if we like it.
Yeah. Outer Wilds, not to be confused with Outer World, that'd be huge. Was announced for
unfortunate, man.
Was announced, for day one for Game Pass, or announced for Game Pass in general, and it had a little developer interview thing. This game looks pretty cool. Wait, did either of you watch this at all?
I did not. Missed it.
Yeah.
What is Outer Wilds?
It's kind of like, I guess, a No Man's Sky thing. Where you kind of go to different planets and doing some stuff. It looked cool. I need to watch it.
Like an exploration.
Which sounds it sounds like it should be called Outer Worlds.
No. The two should switch. Switch names. They even it was some interview. It wasn't in here. Someone asked them about the Outer Worlds, how they feel. It's like we kind of taken aback by it, but honestly, we got more coverage from it, or more notice because people were typing in trying to find Outer Worlds and find us instead.
Hey, that's a good marketing scheme.
So they're okay with it.
It was like there was a game that would an already existing game that has a logo that basically looks exactly like Apex Legends, and apparently a lot of people bought this game thinking it was Apex Legends. So that developer's like, okay, sure.
Yeah.
But
More
then
money for me.
But then people like review bomb them because
It's not that
like,
game's fault.
I'm like, what the hell are you doing? Like,
I mean, get the refund if you still can. It's on Steam and stuff, but don't. It's
not their fault. You
Yeah,
bought
it's
their
not
own
their-
things. People
So-
are dumb.
So both those games look cool. And then they had a little montage of previous announced games during Game Pass, including Void Bastard, which is very Bioshock-esque. Open Sia, The Stolen Sun, which I think is already out. It just came out this past week. Supermarket Shriek, which is when
Goat
you're a
in a
guy and a
shopping cart.
goat in a shopping cart and you're going through obstacles.
I thought
which-
that said Supermarket Shrek. I was like,
Oh.
oh, heck yeah.
We are then.
Yeah. And The Good
It's like,
Life.
Papers, please. with
Jacob,
your
that
Shrek
would
of
be
it.
like 30 minutes of this podcast if it was Supermarket Shrek. You play Shrek and he's just like working at a supermarket.
Yeah, and The Good Life was the
Cool.
final one shown in that montage. All were played by Paxies. And I had a problem with this kind of thing in general. I guess this was all to promote the PAX East stuff, but I'll get to that. My general problem with this presentation. Then they showed After Party and had a little developer interview.
Like, yeah.
If I wasn't already sold on this game, I am definitely sold now.
Yeah.
That was great. This game looks great.
Jake, you know about After Party, right?
Yeah, I did not see the interview, but I'll have to check
I
it out
haven't
because
either.
I'm
Yeah.
interested.
If I'll see what's coming out at the same time. I'm going to be playing this game because I'm already going to have access to it.
It's a bar crawl through hell. Of course you're
Yeah.
playing this game.
Such a good concept.
And they closed the presentation with the announcement of Blazing Chrome. I think this is the
a
first
new
time.
Google Chrome app.
Yeah, I think this is the first time this game was shown. It's kind of a Contra-inspired game. It looks pretty cool. So yeah, all this stuff was shown. All this stuff is coming to Xbox Game Pass day one. Blah blah blah. What's cool about this presentation is it works as kind of like a Nintendo Direct. While this is obviously focused on indies on Game Pass, it still works as a general indies presentation because all these games look good. It highlights all of them, gets the eyes on them, and all that kind of stuff. So that was pretty cool. Main problem with this thing, we've seen a lot of these games before. That whole montage and After Party.
Mhm.
None of these games got release dates, Darby.
Yeah, that's a bummer.
Yeah,
Especially for how many times we've seen all of them.
yeah. So that's Most we got is like 2019. We didn't even get a window, which was a complete and utter bummer.
We're almost getting to the point where there's too many indie presentations to where these games I just want to be at all of them, but they're not
Mhm.
actually ready to say anything new when,
Yeah.
But I mean, I get it. When you're an indie, you need as many PR blasts as you can get. You
wanna
need
build
to
hype.
Yeah.
keep your name in people's minds.
But yeah, I like presentations as a whole. There's a lot of cool games on here. I'm gonna at least check out most of them, I assume,
Yeah.
because why not? It was short and sweet. It's like 12 minutes, so
Nice.
it was really cool. So yeah,
All right.
keep on. I think like State of Play they said is like the first episode of it, so we should be seeing more of these, and I'm all for it.
Yeah, it's a good format.
Mm-hmm.
Everyone should just go that VOD, man. We don't need some awkward stage presentation for everything. Just like,
Yep.
it's a cool thing, yeah.
Okay, next thing comes from Matt Purslow from IGN. Yeah, this might be one to actually read. Nintendo is allegedly planning to launch 2 new versions of the Switch console, potentially as early as this summer. A report by the Wall Street Journal claims that Nintendo has an enhanced variant of the Switch in development, but also with features targeted at avid video gamers. This will be joined by a cheaper option of the console for casual gamers with the intent of acting as a successor to the 3DS. The enhanced version reportedly won't be as powerful as the PS4 Pro or Xbox One X, which is unsurprising considering Nintendo's history of hardware choices. The more casual focused console will drop functions from the standard Switch as the controller vibrations in order to cut costs. Quote, the company judged the new Switch models won't need the vibration feature because there wouldn't be many games released using the full benefit of it, in quote, claims one of the Wall Street Journal's sources. The story cites unnamed part suppliers and software development as developers as sources, stating that the developers have access to a prototype. It also notes that Nintendo has declined to offer comment. These unnamed sources point to a summer release date, with the story suggesting an announcement at E3 in June, followed by a retail release a few months later. The consoles will allegedly have new designs rather than being just higher or lower performance hardware housed in similar looking cases.
It's weird to me for things like what about in Super Mario Odyssey? There's like moons that you have to use the HD Rumble to get. What do you do there?
Yeah.
Can you just not get those?
That's my main thing. Like, people are like, oh, this is so obvious, and I guess it kind of is. But the thing is, there's some games, there's stuff like that in Mario
And
Odyssey.
once you switch, it's
there are
just
games in
non-existent.
there that involve the Joy-Cons. So it's like, hey, we're giving you this thing. You can't do some stuff in certain games or can't play some games at all.
That's weird.
So it's kind of weird. Like, and there's gonna be someone who gets the handheld version that, let's say, it is real and you can't detach the Joy-Cons. Be someone getting.
Yeah.
There are gonna be people getting 1-2 Switch probably with that and be like, why can't I play this game?
Yeah. I'm interested to see how they will work around this, or if those games will just be not compatible at all.
Yeah, that's gonna be it. And yeah, that's
And just like, I don't know, it's a weird thing to me because the Switch in general is just obviously a more casual device and more, it's, you get it for the portability and all this stuff, and you know that you're sacrificing power for that, and it's fine. It's like, I can't imagine a beefed up Switch, but it's still a Switch. It still has to do the portability and do all this, and it's still Nintendo. It's obviously like, it's not going to be as powerful as a PS4 and Xbox. I can't see the bump up being enough to really feel like worth it. And I mean, I guess if you're going to buy a new Switch for the first time, it's not that much more, sure. But if it's even a decent bit more, it's like, I don't know.
I mean, a lot of people bring up a bunch of stuff to what they can do with a new Switch or whatever, and I don't know, I feel like it's easy to bump home with it. Like, people like bigger screen, it's like, okay, then Joy-Cons won't be able to fit on it.
You have to have like new I mean, which is not completely unprecedented. Like, with the Wii, they ended up having that Wii motion thing that you had to have for certain games. I mean, they could end up having like, you have to have Joy-Con Plus to play.
Yeah, but then that just sounds like very confusing and just unneeded.
It got kind of confusing with the Wii. I remember people bringing it out. It's like, oh, let's play. Oh wait, we don't have this. Ah, shit. Okay, well, like, I'm not saying it's a smart thing, but I could see it happening.
I think it's kind of different, just in the way of the whole. Yeah, they do it bigger Switch or whatever, bigger screen, all that stuff. So the Joy-Cons would probably have to be different,
bigger, and
be bigger or something, and so. Your old Joy-Cons won't fit on the new Switch, and the new Joy-Cons won't fit on the old Switch. So you got to rename them, and that'll just be confusing. Confusing. So I'm like, this is just,
I mean, it could be one of those things. You could still use those smaller Joy-Cons, like.
But then you can't put it on there, and that kind of defeats, like, a bunch of stuff kind of defeats the purpose of the Switch in general to me.
I could still see it happening, though.
I guess I could,
but I'm not saying it's, like I said,
they still do it, but I guess I'm more poking holes in the people's arguments, like, oh, this stuff's so obvious and needed and stuff. Like, no.
I mean,
it'll be weird to have like a Switch that doesn't even have a dock. Like it's named Nintendo Switch.
Yeah, that defeats the purpose of it.
Yeah.
I mean, I do somewhat like the idea of like having one that the Joy-Cons are fixed to it, and it's, maybe has like a better battery. It's meant for like being portable all the time, but then there's a lot of drawbacks to that as well. So.
Yeah, I get, but I'm also just, I mean, it's hard for me because I hear a lot of people, especially in games media that we hear on podcasts, say like, oh yeah, I don't even know where my dock is. I never play my Switch dock. It's like, for me, I'm like 60-40 probably, but I'm dock 60%, handheld 40%, but I definitely, even over a year of having the Switch, I am constantly back and forth between them, because to me that is the whole purpose of the Switch, is that I can do whatever I want with it, So like, I would never be interested in a locked either way for the Switch, but I can see the market for it, especially like in Japan. Especially where they're way more into handhelds,
Yeah, like, I mean, if I get a Switch, I'll probably be playing it mostly undocked, like in the bed, on the couch, while my girlfriend's doing something and I'm sitting there playing a game next to her. So that is a little appealing to me, but like you guys said, I probably won't be able to play Mario Odyssey. There's a lot of games.
Like Mario Party, if you ever
Smash.
Smash.
Yeah, I won't want to play Smash. I won't want to play like Astral Chain like that.
Yeah. Because Nintendo is just such a good platform for like local co-op, and that kind of like ruins that if it's only handheld. But I can see the appeal for it. I just don't like, it's weird for me to have a casual machine, but this is like a
more casual machine. I don't know.
Or it's even weirder to me that you have like a beefed up casual machine. Like, it's still way more casual than anything else, but it's beefed up, but not really beefed up. It's just kind of beefed up.
I mean, the handle only one may not be beefed up at all.
No, I'm talking about they have the two SKUs. I'm talking about the one that's
for gamers.
I can kind of understand the simpler one. I can't really understand it's slightly more powerful, but not really. That's the one that is weird to me.
No, I agree. It's
like, I get Xbox One X super powerful console, load times are down, and everything, because it actually is like pushing power limits. This is not going to be doing that. It's just going to be a little bit more powerful, you know.
Nope. So yeah, and if the rumor is true, we'll find out in E3 in June and shortly afterwards.
I'm not buying it, Jeff. Just the whole thing. The idea of this is like a for sure thing. We'll see.
Yeah, we'll see. Moving on to the next thing. Keep on the Nintendo train. Some juicy, well, not really a rumor, but yeah. This comes from Joe Scott from IGN. Monolith Soft, creator of the Xenoblade series and co-development studio on The Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild, is hiring for a new Zelda project. On a Zelda-themed recruitment page as spotted by Japanese Nintendo, Monolith says it's looking for technical artists, programmers, planners, designers, and a project manager. No hint is given as to what the Zelda project would be, simply asking for staff who can help create new surprises and emotions. Monolith previously contributed to Zelda Skyward Sword, helping with artistic and graphical elements. However, its work in Breath of the Wild centered on level design for the open world, particularly with regard to topography. Over 100 Monolith staff were put on the Breath of the Wild development process.
I think if it's possible from a development perspective with just everything they're doing, I think like Breath of the Wild 2 or whatever, like another game in that style should definitely happen. But like outside of that, I think Monolith deserves for them to just be given the Zelda property and say, do your game with it, do what you want with it. Like if you have a very weird JRPG ass like direction you want to go with this, reins are yours. Go. Like,
there are a lot of cool. People have been wondering, what exactly this means. Like if it's just, I mean, this seems like a lot more stuff than them just doing like they did for Breath of the Wild. We're just helping out with level design and that kind of stuff.
Monolith does the Xenoblade series, right? Okay.
Xenoblade. What's kind of interesting, some people pointed out, is Monolith kind of hinted / showed off a project they were kind of working on, or at least concept out for a year ago, which is more Zelda-esque in a way, because it's like knights and stuff, so it shows a woman in armor with a sword, so people are like, could that be Zelda? Could that be what this is?
Yeah.
Could that be this project they're working on? And then some people point out another things like, that's not a Triforce thing. It's like, well, they're not going to show that stuff now. They're not going to... People would have found that out immediately if they threw an actual Hylian symbol on there.
Can't make it too obvious.
Yeah, can't make it too obvious. So I think this could be cool if Monolith makes a Zelda game. I mean, I don't think they're going to go like full all anime on it like they do with Xenoblade.
No, and that's not necessarily what I'm saying, but I just want them to be able to kind of like, like make their own Zelda game, not just Breath of the Wild 2, but like them to kind of have their own swing. And I imagine you would be down for that. You're the Xenoblade guy. But.
Yeah. Plus, Monolith has multiple teams, so we could be still getting Xenoblade, and then just they're also working out Zelda game.
And that could be the big. I mean, not that Monolith hasn't already kind of broken out, but that would be like the next big milestone for them for sure.
Oh yeah.
And we literally just saw Nintendo license out Zelda to an indie studio. So I mean, this is not crazy.
The weirdest thing is that let's say Breath of the Wild 2 is a thing that's being made by the normal Nintendo people, and this like we're getting a lot of Zelda projects, or they're working on it. We got the indie game, we got Canyons of Hyrule, we got Link's Awakening, potentially Breath of the Wild 2, and then whatever this is, unless this is the Breath of the Wild 2.
Yeah.
So,
I mean,
who knows?
It's a lot of Zeldas.
I'm not against it. I mean, as long as they kind of are different.
Yeah.
Do go for different things.
I mean, Nintendo flooded us with Fire Emblem for several years, so there's always the chance.
I mean, yeah, if they want to do Breath of the Wild 2, and like I say, this Monolith stuff is a more story-focused Zelda.
Yeah.
That could be cool.
Yeah. No, that's what I'm. Yeah, that kind of thing. Like not necessarily the anime angle, but like they tell stories, and they could be like, I would hope that if Monolith has their own Zelda, that it does not feel like any other Zelda. Like I want it to be, Link freaking talks. It's gonna make you cry. It's gonna be like crazy.
I got the twist. Zelda's in there. She's a badass the whole time. Turns out the end, she has the Triforce of Power. She is the reincarnation of Ganon in this time.
Oh shit!
What a twist! So
and you save Link.
Yeah. So I'm interested in whatever Monolith's up doing. Obviously, I mentioned in Zelda, so this will be exciting to keep an eye on, and as we hear more things. And we will update if we hear of anything of substance.
Speaking of updates, E3 updates.
E3 update. All right, speaking of E3 updates, we're just gonna talk about Nintendo and whatever. They announced their tournaments they're doing like this Saturday for E3 for Smash and Splatoon. Okay. But yeah, the main thing we're talking about, Ubisoft announced they will hold their E3 press conference on June 10th at 1 p.m. Pacific time, 4 p.m. Eastern time. So same time as last year.
Yep. No shifts.
No surprise.
Does anyone go swoop in there and take Sony's spot?
Yeah, this is the most boring one because it's kind of like, well, we knew they were doing it. They're taking the same spot, so it doesn't mean anything as far as like timing. I'm more interested to see like, well, at this point, definitely now, Square Enix is doing one and wins Microsoft's.
Man, I'm not looking forward to that Square Enix.
Quiet Man, Quiet Man 2.
I'm looking forward to it if they announce it because they have to this time freaking show Avengers of Final Fantasy VII.
Jeff, they don't have to do anything.
Yeah, they're just gonna come out and just talk about how well Kingdom Hearts 3 did.
Hey, if Kingdom Hearts 3 DLC, then that's fine as well.
No, Jeff. They're just gonna say like, hey, it was really good.
You know, a lot of hard work
sold
into
a
that
bazillion
game.
copies.
You know, we released a few other games, but we're not going to talk about those.
Our heart was our guiding key. Thank you.
Yeah, we canceled all the Final Fantasy 15
Announcing Left Alive 2.
No. They show Kingdom Hearts 3 DLC, they announce it, and then they cancel it in the same conference.
Yeah. Well, I mean, again, as far as the Final Fantasy, I like how we went to Square Enix, but as far as that, then we'll move back on the Ubisoft. Yep. As far as the Square Enix actually showing something they did one, they in their financial stuff said there's supposed to be a big game coming this year. What else could it be other than that we don't know?
Another Assassin's Creed. We're back to the yearly.
Where Ubisoft, we're not getting Assassin's Creed.
I thought you were talking about Ubisoft.
No, it's talking about Square. We're supposed to get one of those. Ubisoft I'm not worried about. But we're not getting Assassin's Creed. We're getting Watch Dogs, Darby. Getting Watch Dogs.
We might see more from Beyond Good and Evil.
Please, get something substantial.
Yeah.
I don't know, but I would rather them not show it if they're not ready.
No. If it's just going to be another cinematic thing, as cool as art, don't show anything. But they show significant gameplay stuff. And
because they've already showed it twice and not shown any gameplay, really. So.
Yeah, well, they showed some gameplay stuff, like in the weird developer diary behind closed door things.
There was like a dude flying on a screen that we were looking at.
No, I'm talking about other times. They've actually shown some stuff, but no one talks about it. Not there's anything really that big. But my hope is let's say they do another cinematic thing, show some gameplay in 2020 or something. That would be my hope for that.
Yeah.
I want another Nintendo crossover thing. They got to keep that train going.
Yeah,
we're getting one these last 2 years.
I think there's a high chance of that. I mean,
give me Mario plus Rabbids too. Come on.
And that's probably happening because that definitely had to have overperformed from what they expected.
And I think that's sold good enough.
We haven't got 2 or 3 million or something.
Yeah.
Right?
And the game's good. I mean, that game didn't have the highest budget ever, for sure.
I wouldn't imagine so.
So I am excited forever that kind of thing come out there. I was trying to think what else we'll get. We
could also see a new Far Cry game. Which,
they've had yearly ones, and they always sell way more than you think they're going to.
Yeah.
And we might see something from their pirate game. Did that come out?
Oh, yeah. That's coming out. That's supposed to come out like late this year, so we'll 100% be seeing that.
Skull and Bones.
Yeah, Skull and Bones. I think what else we could potentially be seeing. Can't think of anything else obvious.
Those are the big ones.
Probably some new game.
They gotta have something that comes out in February and becomes like the best-selling game of the year for half the year. I feel like Ubisoft has one of those every year.
Yeah, for February/March.
Yeah,
for the Division 2 this year. We're getting Division DLC stuff probably. Yeah. So
all right, well,
new Rayman. Let's go.
We will be doing our E3 reactions in not that long. So
yep. Speaking of E3,
more
things we will react to. This comes from Colin Stevens from IGN. CD Projekt Red says E3 2019 will be its most important one ever, even when compared to last year's major showing from Cyberpunk 2077. Announced during a fiscal year 2018 financial results presentation, Projekt Red president and CEO Adam Kaczynski said via translator, quote, "Last year's E3 has been the most important one so far throughout the whole CD Projekt Red or CD Projekt history, but this year's is going to be the most important one ever for us." Okay. We have really prepared a strong show.
Okay.
We knew CD Projekt was coming.
Okay.
So it makes me wonder, are we going to actually get like a release window at the very least? Will we get a 2020 at the end? Or will they blow our minds and give us like a date for this year?
It's out right now.
Yeah.
It's on your PS4 right now.
So, but here's the thing: as
PS4
far as
just catches
we
fire
implanted
in the
a chip in your head, and you're playing Cyberpunk right now.
I want to say this might be closer than we're thinking, but there are a bunch of people that are thinking it's coming out this year.
But also remember that they showed The Witcher 3 like once a year, every year for like
This
5
is true.
or 6 years straight.
But they have said, like very recently, might even be in this, that they expect to have 2 games, like big AAA games, out by 2021.
yeah, I mean, 2021 is still like. I
I mean, that's 2 years from now.
I think the game at the latest is coming out sometime next year.
Yeah.
I think.
Yeah.
But I would expect it next year. But I think there's a chance we don't see a release date. But I think we're absolutely going to be seeing more gameplay. I mean, we saw the 48-minute thing. That was amazing.
Yeah, I think we'll only get a release date, I think, when next-gen consoles are announced.
Right. And you also,
I don't see this game running on...
And you also need to
They
realize...
said it is.
Well, okay, I
Yeah.
don't think you're going to want to play it on
Yeah.
current stuff.
Yeah, it's going to be one of those, like, I bought Dragon Age Inquisition on the PS3. Bad move.
Yeah.
Bad move. That was trash.
Yeah.
But you also have to realize Cyberpunk is not really a studio that works that way exactly of like, this is our release date, hard release date that we're announcing a year in advance. Like The Witcher 3, they were like changing things constantly.
Yeah.
And they like didn't really announce the release date until they were like done, until they like,
I wasn't even saying like
already
announcing
knew.
a release date for like exact date for next, just like 2020.
Yeah.
Or blow our minds and give us date for this year.
Yeah.
Which I think is very unlikely, obviously, but
If they show something cool enough, I'm not going to be mad if I don't see the release date. Because, like, I could see Cyberpunk end up being, like, just one random day. They're like, hey, it's coming out in 4 months. It's like,
No.
oh, shit. You know?
Yeah, I expect some sort of release window, but I'm not expecting 2019.
No.
I wonder.
That's a 2020 game.
I wonder, depending on what they're going to show, like if this will be Microsoft's closer again, because obviously that's where this will probably show up.
I don't think they do that 2 years in a row. Maybe. I don't know.
Could be an opener.
Could be an opener.
Could
Be a good opener.
Be a good. Oh,
Yeah.
you want Darby to get excited?
End with Fable. Start with Cyberpunk. End with Fable. Fable
Please,
coming
Phil
out
Spencer.
this year.
Man, that has to be announced this year, right? I don't know. People said, like, some of the rumors said that it was pretty early on in development whenever we heard about Playground making Fable. So
That was 2 years ago.
might have been. I think that was 2017.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Who knows?
Who knows indeed.
But I am ready to become a Cyberman. Go ahead
Yes.
and plant whatever you need to plant in my body. I'm ready.
Okay, next one. I'm not
And
going
I'm
to read.
also ready for the Olympics, Jeff. So sorry.
Darby broke my
I
microphone.
broke his microphone from over here.
So with this hype.
That's how hyped I am for the Olympics. The Olympics are in Tokyo. Do you
Yeah.
imagine how hyped that intro is going to be? Like the opening.
Yeah.
Holy shit! It's going to be so.
We're going to
awesome.
have Pikachu running out.
They're going to have Goku like spirit bombs.
And Mario deflecting it.
Yeah, I wonder what video game anime characters are going to show up in this. Like who's
Game.
going to represent Japan?
King's Game.
Sonic is what's going to happen. This comes from Tamura Hussein from GameSpot. Sega has announced a range of video games for the Olympic Games being held in Tokyo next year. Among them is Mario and Sonic the Olympic Games Tokyo 2020, a Switch title that will once again reunite the characters from Nintendo and Sega's most iconic franchises to compete in the sporting events. However, Sega also has Olympic Games, the official video game in development for PS4, Xbox One, PC, and Switch. On top of that, there's an arcade version of Mario and Sonic the Olympic Games Tokyo 2020 and Sonic the Olympic Games Tokyo 2020 for mobile devices. These games are showcased in a trailer, which you can watch, online. Obviously, the main difference between the various titles is whether or not they have Mario or Sonic attached to them. Sega is making a standard Olympics video game available on all platforms, and this is currently listed as coming 2020 on the game's official website. Mario and Sonic will join in on the competition for Switch and arcade, with the Switch version arriving in winter of 2019, while the arcade version follows in summer 2020. Finally, on mobile, it's just Sonic in the game, headed to Olympics. So I guess it's supposed to be Sonic in the Gang. And the game is set for summer 2020.
They should make it Nintendo and Sega the Olympic Games, so I can have Persona 5 characters competing in
Yeah, that'd be
in Olympic
better.
Mm.
activities.
I feel like
Ryuji could actually run track.
Yeah,
It's
Yeah,
canon.
it's
It
true.
makes sense.
I think the thing that Dari I know that'd be really cool. I agree. Like Mario Kart, the branding, Mario and Sonic Olympics is a brand now.
You could still have it. You could still call it Mario
I
and
know.
Sonic Olympic Games, and just Sonic represents all of Sega.
We need all of Sonic's friends, Darby. How can we have an Olympics game without Big the Cat?
You can put Biggs the cat, but then
I
also
don't even
And
know
Rogue
Big-
the Bat.
I don't even know if Big's in any of these.
I just
games.
want Biggs the cat to be able to face off against Makoto, Jeff. That's
You're
just
right.
all I'm asking.
Oh, yeah, some people are like this saying canon because they showed footage of or a picture at least of them running track and Mario was ahead of Sonic.
No. Yeah, no.
That's not how it
He,
goes.
goes up
he'll
with
do the
that.
jump
Yeah.
competitions. He's got that, but
Yeah.
I've played a few of those like Olympic games. They're pretty fun.
I always heard they were pretty fun. I don't think I ever really even knew anyone that had them, but I always heard they were.
I
like,
think
fun
I have
games.
one of them on the Wii.
I did like the Vancouver ones.
Mm,
Skiing
yeah.
was fun in it.
Yeah. Have they been doing? Did they do it in 2016 too?
Yeah, they still been doing these. And it didn't say in here, but I know I read somewhere they're going to be using like Joy-Con related stuff, which could be cool, and motion controls and stuff. That could be cool.
Yeah.
I feel like Luigi would be like a pro curling player.
Of course.
I mean, that's Winter Olympics, but still.
Yeah.
But so we got another exclusive for Nintendo that's coming out late this year. Not exactly a big one, but
Yeah. I mean, I think those sell surprisingly well. So.
so expect this at these games usually sell.
Yeah.
No, this will sell. Expect this. We'll probably see it at E3 as like its official showing. If not by then, if Sega doesn't do it, and that's probably going to be a Treehouse. No, that's going to be one of the Treehouse sessions, 100%.
Yeah. Is there just like a developer that makes all of these?
Someone from Sega. Some developer from Sega.
Okay.
It is, Sega makes these games,
Okay.
which is why Sega announced all this.
Right.
I think I think they made all these games. They're probably gonna be very similar, but like Tamor said, it's just whether it has Mario and Sonic in them, like taking them out and putting real people in, or just take out the Mario characters, stuff like that.
Yeah.
So they can put it on different platforms because Mario is not going to be on a PS4.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But why would you get anything other than the Mario and Sonic?
Yeah, really.
Exactly.
Oh, well, these random dudes.
Yeah. So yeah.
But seriously, that opening ceremony is gonna be hype.
Okay, moving on. We got a few more smaller stories to lead us out.
Lead us out, Jeff.
This is from WayForward's Twitter. Today we're thrilled to announce Shantae 5. You're invited to join Shantae in a brand new adventure later this year on PS4, Xbox One, Nintendo Switch PC, and the newly announced Apple Arcade. Stay tuned for more details.
This basically just, Jeff, when I see this, I'm like, I guess I'm probably just never going to catch up with. Like, Shantae's just one of the mini series. I'm like, this seems like cool games to me, but they're already at 5. don't
I mean, you don't need to play all of them. I just played the last one. I mean, one of those games, not much of a story going on, and plus the first one's on Game Boy, so why would you necessarily want to play that?
Yeah.
Or Game Boy Color or something. It's old. But yeah, so I played Half Genie Hero, was the last game, and for a bunch of Shantae fans, that was kind of a disappointment.
Okay.
But I loved it. So I'm going to, I think it's Pirate's Curse, the one before that. I'm going to try to go back and play that one. I think I'm almost 100% positive it's on Game Pass. So big reason to try it. And they showed a little clip of Shantae and the Apple Arcade thing of this game. It seems to be Shantae's model from the Half Genie Hero, but the backgrounds are more Pirate's Cursey. So it's kind of like her nice little colorful model with like a more retro style background thing. Cool. So I'm excited for this. Shantae's are good games, so I'll give this on the Switch probably.
Cool.
At least at some point.
Cool.
Next thing. Taking away some stuff that Bethesda could announce at their E3 conference. Maybe. This goes about an RE from IGN. Wolfenstein Youngblood is being released for PC, PS4, Xbox One, and Switch on July 26th. I think the Switch part's new. Revealed at E3 2018, Wolfenstein Youngblood lets players step into the shoes of one of BJ Blazkowicz's twin daughters in the alternative universe's 1980s Paris. And if you picked up the deluxe edition, you can invite a friend to play with you for free with the Buddy Pass. So that's cool.
Wolfenstein already has a really cool style, and put that in the 80s. That's pretty cool.
Yeah. So, yeah, this game's we knew a lot about this game. It's cool that, this is a Wolfenstein game that's co-op pretty much only. Like, there's always going to be 2 people involved, but if you don't have someone else, it's going to be a C or computer.
It's like their blood dragon.
Yep. So this
Not
would be
a bad thing.
No, not at all.
So it's cool. The Buddy Pass thing's cool. It's kind of like a way out, but you need the deluxe edition for that. And I know they said if you do use the Buddy Pass or whatever, and then you want to get yourself, you'll be able to start with where you left off, stuff like that.
That's cool. That's a very cool thing.
Cool little thing.
Not have to buy it twice.
And final thing. We got some sales time. Just one little thing. But
Sales
it's neat.
time.
We got some Dragon Ball video game sales. So Dragon Ball Fighters has shipped over 4 million units. Pretty good for a fighting game been out for a little over a year.
Yeah, I thought it was even higher than that already, but
Yeah.
good for it.
While Dragon Ball Xenoverse 2 has shipped 5 million units. But
Sad.
Xenoverse 2 is... But
Those should be reversed.
But here's the good thing. Fighters is far outpacing
Right. Yeah,
because it came out like Xenoverse 2 came out in 2016.
Right. Right.
So it's outpacing it big time.
Which is surprising but good.
Yeah.
So I'm happy with the fighter sales. So that definitely means we will be getting more of Dragon Ball Fighters. I assume. Another game. So, and give Arc System Works more anime properties. Give them JoJo. Give them One Piece.
Yeah, really.
Give them My Hero.
They've proven themselves.
Give them one of those three, dang it. I'll take any one of those.
JoJo would be pretty cool.
It would be. But I'm trying to think of one that would make more money.
But just how you make the stands.
Yeah, some of those are gonna be
how you make
weird.
them with the moves.
They gotta be very inventive,
Yeah.
and I'm all for that. Go crazy with it.
Seems like it would be some of the stands you guys have talked about. Seems like it would be pretty difficult to make work, but
Yeah.
hey, whatever.
How the hand work?
Oh yeah, I mean, I can see that working.
I mean,
think
I can
in
see
a
that
video
working,
game.
like using its full power, the powers to the full
Yeah,
possibility. Like, would they erase the space in between?
yeah,
Would they actually use that?
yeah. Yeah. There's some of those. It's just like I don't know how. If you want to do like with the more creative ones, I mean, there are plenty of stands that are just kind of like, I'm gonna punch you.
Yeah.
But
There are ones like, hey, there are like a couple ice ones. Those are easy to make a move set for.
White Album would be fun. That'd be pretty like obvious, but it'd be a fun pick.
The world.
The motto. I mean, they probably do like Jump Force did and just make that a super.
Yeah, I'm sure. All right. Any parting thoughts, gentlemen?
Video games are cool.
Video games are cool.
Going up on the blog will be a early game tips for Sekiro.
Nice.
So
nice.
Important, helpful information if you're having a hard time.
Yeah,
Check that out.
that's very good. Yeah,
Indeed.
sweet. Yeah, definitely go check out the blog. Jacob is pretty much holding up all of the blog content because I'm not doing crap, but
And I'm not a writer, so
I spend enough time just editing all these videos and stuff.
Yeah,
but
I don't do any of that. So,
But I do want to like try to write some stuff on there.
yeah, so check that out if you're interested. There's also a couple reviews, some other stuff.
Yeah, RE2 review up there.
Yeah, there'll be more stuff coming.
I need to play RE2 at some point. I saw it's on sale now.
You can use my copy if you want,
Yeah,
but
that too.
if you want to give them money, that's all right.
I like to give money, but there are too many games.
Yeah, Capcom's really hurting.
Yeah, really.
Capcom's hurting right now. I'm probably just gonna do that,
Yeah.
Jake, if you're okay with
Yeah,
that.
yeah.
I'm gonna play RE1 though, or try to first.
It's a good one.
Indeed.
I might play. Like, can I just jump in and play RE4 without playing anything else?
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah. It's totally separate.
I thought so, but so I might do that.
That's coming out on Switch soon.
It's on PlayStation now, so that's.
Oh yeah, that's true. Yeah, you have access to that, so yeah, do that.
Yeah. Okay. Here's a quick summary of RE2, so you know what's gonna happen.
Okay.
Or RE4. Sorry. Leon Kenny's a badass. He's now like Secret Service man. Umbrella, who did the zombie outbreak, they're gone. That you're good.
All right,
Yep, that's it.
I'm ready, and you are too. Everyone, go play.
RE4 is a good game.
All right, thank you guys. Goodbye.
Bye.